Hey guys, this is me, Andres, president of Penn State Pokemon Society. This is the battle between me and Alex for champion for PSPC Spring 2014. We both managed to beat Patrick, and we were the last two remaining champion candidates. So here's our battle. As I said before in the other recording, I'm running Gliscor, Gastrodon, Terrakion, Ferrothorn, Scizor, and Togekiss. And Alex is running Heatran, Gastrodon, Breloom, Terrakion, Mawile, and Rotom Wash. I'm pretty sure his Mawile is the Mega. And I wasn't sure if I was going to run a Mega, but I decided that a Mega Scizor might actually be better off than a Life Orb Scizor. So that's my Mega. Alright, well, we'll get started with the battle then. Alright, so I know me and Alex have had a lot of history of battles, and he loves to use Rotom against my teams. It's usually a matchup problem for me. He leads with Rotom Launch. I lead with Gliscor. He predicts that I'll just lead with a Protect to scout it out. I'm pretty sure that the Rotom is Scarfed, and given the fact that he did switch, that pretty much confirms that it is Scarfed. He gets an Intimidate on my Gliscor. I think he's afraid to take some Earthquakes from it, so I just go for a Swords Dance. I predict that that whatever it does dish out at me, I'll be okay. He goes into Rotom Wash, and since I know it's Scarfed, I go for a Protect again to see what it's going to do. It's Hidden Power. I believe it's Ice, so I don't want to stay in on that. Especially since Gliscor can't really do much to Rotom Wash. I go into Ferrothorn. And after seeing his team preview, I didn't notice anything that could Rapid Spin or Defog, so I went for Stealth Rocks on the Scarfed Rotom Wash because it was a very safe move for me to make. And he switches into Mawile, gets an Intimidate, which potentially can matter. Get the rocks out. Now, Mawile may not be fast, but it's relatively bulky. It has really good priority attack, and its attack stat is off the charts. So, even with something as bulky as a Gliscor, I'm still a little afraid of what Mawile can do. I switch into Gliscor, thinking he might Fire Fang. And he makes a very good call and does a Play Rough and takes out a lot of Gliscor's life. It probably about 75%, 70%, so it was a lot. I predicted Alex might go for a Sucker Punch here, which would have killed Gliscor, so I Swords Dance. And he just uses Play Rough. I guess he either A, figured I would do something like that, or B, figured I wouldn't be able to drop it in one shot, so he just wanted my Gliscor dead. And it worked out very well. My Gliscor is dead. And he does the same thing to Gastrodon. Gastrodon lives with 44 HP. My Earth Power does about 95%, which is awesome. Or my Gastrodon barely has any life left and will not survive the next attack. Yeah. Play Rough still does over half to Ferrothorn. Granted, it was a crit. So I did predict he would go for another Play Rough, and I get the Iron Barbs down, which drops a Mawile. Granted, it took out half of my Ferrothorn's life, like 80% of Gastrodon's life, and it killed my Gliscor. So at this point, he's carved a huge hole in my team, and I'm pretty worried. He goes into Heatran, which Ferrothorn cannot do anything to, so I switch out, because I have to. I go into Terrakion. I'm assuming he's going to either go for a Fire attack or a setup move, and he goes for a Substitute, which is a bit of a problem for me. I honestly didn't have any safe switches, especially since Gastrodon lost most of his life. So I didn't have too many options. I go for a Rock Slide because I didn't want my defense stages to drop up with a close combat. And I'm not sure, but I think Rock Slide can still potentially flinch through a Substitute, so if I got a little lucky, it would have helped a bit. And I think that proved to be a good move on my part, because the Rock Slide did take out the Substitute, and it did not die to Earth Power. I go for another Rock Slide, thinking that he might predict that I'll switch. and I do quite a bit of damage, but it's not enough. And he does use Flamethrower, however, it kills my Terrakion because the turn before his Earth Power, Heat Run's Earth Power lowered the special defense of Terrakion, so it died to Flamethrower. At this point, Heat Run has low life though, thanks to Terrakion's Rock Slide. So I think with at least one lucky flinch, I could at least end the Heat Run. I don't get a flinch, but it doesn't go for a Flash Cannon, so I'm in decent shape. And with one more hit from Togekiss, the Heat Run will be gone. And at least then, the primary issues for my team are out of the picture. Granted, he already took out my Gliscor and my Terrakion, so I'm still pretty worried. Scarf Rotom is probably faster than my Togekiss, and pretty much wins that matchup. So I go into Gastrodon, which I know is for the most part a safe switch unless he uses Trick or Will-O-Wisp. But since he used Hidden Power Ice, I know he doesn't have at least one of those moves. And since I know he's locked into Volt Switch, I go for the Recover. Get my life back from Gastrodon so I can continue to use it as a pretty good wall. Now he has Breloom, which is a huge problem for Gastrodon. So I switch out. My Gliscor is also dead, which is a problem. I go into Ferrothorn. He goes for Bullet Seed, which doesn't do much to Ferrothorn. However, Breloom does have Fighting Attack, so it's not really something I can stay into. I switched into Togekiss, figuring that he wouldn't go for his Spore on a Ferrothorn since it was a Grass type and it wouldn't work. And Breloom's Stabs are both fighting in Grass, so I figured it was a safe switch to go into Togekiss, and that proved to be true. I figured he would switch, so I didn't go for the Air Slash, I went for the Dazzling Gleam, which still would be super effective on the Gastrodon. And gets some pretty good damage on the Rotom Wash. Puts it at, about 25% life. I switch into Gastrodon again because, as I said before, it's a relatively safe switch. I think he predicts that, and he uses a trick, and now my Gastrodon is Choice Scarfed. And his Rotom Wash gets a Rindo Berry, which proves to be, well, at least fun. Figured he might go into Breloom again, so I go for an Ice Beam. He doesn't. He goes into his own Gastrodon. Given that my Gastrodon is Scarfed and that his is not, he probably will win the matchup. So I switch out into my Ferrothorn, which can take Gastrodon's attacks pretty well. Now my Ferrothorn is at about half life and Earth Power, Stab, and Neutral, so I'm a bit worried. But thanks to Leftovers, the Earth Power is not going to KO my Gastrodon even after the next attack. He stays in. I survive with 11 HP and I go for the Power Whip. Now, Gastrodon has a Rindo Berry, so I wasn't sure if this would KO, but it did. So I was pretty happy about that. I guess Gastrodon's physical defense just really isn't that strong. Deals are Hidden Power, which would have killed the Gastrodon. I mean, the Ferrothorn. But I switch out into Gastrodon. And the Rotom can't really do much to Gastrodon, so it's a relatively safe situation for me. I just go for the KO with Ice Beam. And now the Scarfed Rotom is out of the picture. Heals into Breloom, which is kind of still an issue for me. I figured he probably has Spore on it, so I'm kind of worried about switching into Togekiss again, especially since Togekiss doesn't really have that much life left, even though it does quad resist one of his stats and resist the other. So really, I just sacked the Gastrodon to get a free switch on, because I know I am fast. So he goes for a Mach Punch, which doesn't do that much. I go for a Dazzling Gleam at the chance that he switches into Terrakion, which I'm pretty sure is Scarfed. and the Breloom drops. Terrakyon's his last Pokemon, and I don't think I switched. Yeah, I didn't switch because I didn't want to take 2 Stone Edges with one potentially being a crit on my Scizor. So with this is pretty much game. I Mega Evolve here to have some more bulk and power, and even if Stone Edge is a crit, it should not kill Mega Scizor. So with 2 bullet punches, I win the match. And that was our championship battle. It was a hard fought battle, relatively close. I only had 2 Pokemon left and the Ferrothorn was really about to die. So good game, Alex. This time I was champion. Thank you everyone for watching. I would like to thank Trevor Shorthouse for running the PSPC. I would like to also thank all the gym leaders. You guys all did a great job. This was a very successful PSPC. Tune in on Twitch and our Penn State Pokemon Society website. We'll be posting more videos, especially with our singles tournament and our VGC Premier tournament coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright, peace.